bring out the box of doom here. Let's race. You need to beat a nat 20.
Why does Brennan do that? He gets out a special prop box and tells the players to roll in it.
We'll go one at a time.
One at a time?
One of these will be a nat 20.
Die number 1. Come on, roll the die.
Die number 1.
10.
That's half of a nat 20.
Half
All
a nat-
the way up to a nat 20.
I mean, at this point, the Box of Doom is sort of a Dimension 20 trademark, but it's also part of Brennan's DMing style. And if you don't believe me, watch this clip.
Give me a DC 13 sleight of hand check.
That's the same thing. Granted, there is no Box of Doom, but it's the exact same thing. Brennan is telling us something. This roll matters. Welcome to Mystic Arts, where I suffer through my con flu to make a video about a silly math rock game. My name is Daði, I'm a professional writer and director, and I've been DMing for a little over a decade. The Box of Doom exists as a conjunction of two needs. One is the need of the game. The other is the need of an actual play, and from a production standpoint, it's entirely practical. The Box of Doom is a nice dice tray with a small action camera like a GoPro mounted inside of it. There may also just be like a light in there or something to make sure that the footage of the dice looks crisp. The goal being to capture important dice rolls on a dedicated camera that you and me, the audience, can see. And it's dope as hell. It creates this aura of, oh my god, this is important, that we can all feel as we lean forward in our chairs with bated breath. What's going to happen next? But it's not just a kludge to create engaging moments on the screen for the audiences. It also serves as a practical reason to engage the players around the table. And you can have your own Box of Doom moments at your table with little to no effort. You don't need a special box. Though, you know, I gotta say that is a dope looking box. If you've watched even just one episode of Critical Role Campaign 4, you would have seen Brennan deploy a legally distinct Box of Doom.
Go ahead and give me a roll. DC 20 gets you a vibe, DC 25 gets you pure information.
All right, guys.
The explicit DC is a way to tell your players a few things at the same time, all of which make your game better. 1. This roll is important. It's so important, I'm going to remove ambiguity about the target number you're trying to hit so that you'll all exactly know what exactly you want to get on the dice. And 2, you can reverse engineer what target number you're aiming for. If I say, make a DC 15 athletics check, and you, the player, know that you've got a +5 athletics, you also just know that you've got to get a 10 or higher on your die. And 3, both of these facts invite the other players in. You can say DC 15 athletics check, and when the player picks up their die, you can add further tension by granting further information to the table. What's your athletics modifier?
It's +5.
You need a 10 or higher on the die to succeed. There is this common misconception that being the DM is about cultivating an aura of mystery around the whole game, and I think it's a bit of bull, personally. You want an aura of mystery around what the nature of your world is, or the mysterious parts of your world specifically, but your players are playing heroes in a world where they can see the consequences laid out in front of them, and you, the DM, can translate the character's knowledge and understanding of the world they inhabit into knowledge the players understand about their game they're playing by explaining the game consequences to them. I think that's really, it's so important. So I'm just going to repeat it again. Translate what your heroes know into game knowledge so that your players know it too. That way, the players' choices will reflect their characters' choices. And in other words, just say the DC out loud. The player characters don't know the DC, but they have an understanding equivalent to knowing the DC. Let's say, when I'm moving house, I need to pick up a couch. I don't know how heavy the couch is, but I have an approximate knowledge of how difficult it is to lift. I, kind of inherently, know the couch lifting DC, right? This is especially important when it comes to the thing I talk about non-stop on the channel. We're talking about informed choice. The idea that RPGs are ultimately about making choices and making your players enjoy the game more if they know how to interpret those choices. Without informed choice, every choice becomes an arbitrary one. So inform your players. Tell them the DC. This can be hugely important for creating that sort of atmosphere of dreading the consequences. But before we get into it, a word from our sponsor. Mithos is a system-agnostic TTRPG toolkit designed specifically for GMs. It consolidates all essential DM tools into one modular workspace so you don't have to juggle multiple apps, spreadsheets, or Google Docs, or any of those things. It allows you to stop focusing on the tools and focus on what is most important: telling stories with your friends, because it does it all built in for you. There's a player tracker for viewing session notes, and there's a map display, a combat tracker, a shop generator, sticky notes, NPC library, weather tool, dice roller, bestiary, custom calendar, custom layouts, timekeeper, session recorder, and campaign support. And it's got two essential things that make me want to talk about it. Number one, it is 100% local on your PC. You run it all off of your own computer, so if something goes wrong or whatever, you've got all the data yourself. You can back it up on your own. And two, this is not a subscription. It is a one-time purchase. So go check out Mithos by the link in the description so they know who sent you. Here's another example. If the consequence of failure is clear to the heroes, it should be clear to the players. Let's imagine we're making that DC 15 athletics check, but instead of moving a couch, we're leaping across a chasm. Well, let's detail the chasm. We could say the chasm is 50 feet deep. Make a DC 15 athletics check to clear it. But what does failure mean here? Do I fall in? Do I make another check to see if I fall in a saving throw? What happens with failure? You might think the answer is obvious, and so might your players, but you two might disagree on what the obvious answer is because you are never visualizing the exact same thing. But it's about more than that. Even if you know what the answer is and your players are thinking the same thing, you can still elevate the tension by simply stating it out loud. If you fail the check, you fall 50 feet into the chasm, taking 5d6 falling damage. Can you tell what we're doing yet? We're layering on top the importance of the die roll. You might add, and you don't see any easy way to climb up. That's just another layer. We're not just telegraphing the consequences for the sake of telegraphing the consequences. We are making that one die roll more and more important with each layer. Everything we add to this effect makes the die feel heavier in the hand. There are systems that do this sort of heavy lifting right out of the box, by the way. Lots of them. They're called rollover or roll under systems. The idea is that your stat is your target number. So if you got an athletics of 6, you roll a d20 and get a higher than a 6 and you beat the roll. You get your desired outcome. Jumping a chasm, make an athletics check, or fall in the pit. And your sheet already says that the DC is 6. In those systems, you can still layer on the importance of the roll by asking the player, what is your athletic score? They say 6, you go, then you gotta beat a 6 or higher. If you're interested in these kinds of systems, you can go check them out. Many of the OSR kind of systems use it, like Mouse Ritter, Dragonbane, and my current favorite, Vagabond. I had a blast playing Vagabond one weekend, and I'm certain I'll do a video talking about like a review of it or some point in the future. It's sort of built for optimizers, so your players will sink their teeth into it fairly quickly, and they'll make their own characters, and they'll get to understand the system with you because they're incentivized to do so because they're building their own characters. They've got a Kickstarter running right now just for a couple of more days, so before it runs out, go check them out. There's a link in the description. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I'm just a fan of their system. Now, if you play rollover or roll under games, you'll realize a couple of things. One, knowing the DC isn't a problem at the table. Those games work perfectly well while the players know what their target numbers are. There is nothing wrong with it. In fact, those games usually have ways of making more challenging tasks be harder with the roll over or under mechanics, like having an edge or an advantage or a hard difficulty check like in Call of Cthulhu. I won't go into all of that here. There's a whole lot of explaining mechanics in and otherwise what I hope to be a short video, but basically this thing works. It's a neat bit of design and you can bring it to your table no matter what game you're playing, even if it doesn't have rollover or roll under mechanics. Two, another thing you realize if you play those games is that even when you do know the DC, not every roll is a Box of Doom style roll. You can create that Box of Doom style feeling by putting emphasis on it. Stand up. Tell your players this is an important roll. Tell your players the DC, the consequences, the situation. You can even layer on extra tension as they're shaking the die in their hand. The bad guys are rushing around the corner, they're almost here, and then they roll. But there's another reason why you might not want every roll to matter as much. Why you don't want to make every roll be a Box of Doom roll. You can get a lot of mileage out of grading on a curve. I do this with knowledge checks. Say a DC 20 history check to recognize a symbol on the wall as the symbol of the late King Arthur III. Beating the DC by 5 or more, you learn why King Arthur III chose the Golden Lion as his symbol. You'll learn about his paramour, Sir Godfrey Gold, and you'll learn that their relationship remained a secret because the king was worried about rumors that he wouldn't produce an heir. Losing the DC by 5 or less, you might not recognize the owner, but you'll know it's a royal symbol of some kind and it's local to Atroxia, the region you're playing in. But not more than that. That's a lot of explaining that wouldn't be fun in the middle of rolling something as bog standard as a knowledge check. But I find grading on a curve really satisfying. And it's core to 5e. Monsters like Medusa use the fail by 5 or more mechanic. Ultimately, the Box of Doom is there to create a sense of excitement around the table, to get all the players to realize that this is an important roll and they should pay attention to the result. And it works wonders on one particular thing. It creates hushed moments when the die is tossed onto the middle of the table and the players lean in and wait for the die to stop wobbling. And then they cheer, they succeed. It creates that I got a nat 20 hype around simply succeeding the important roll. It can make there be more crit moments at the table this way, and that is amazing. That excitement in the room is exhilarating. That's what we're trying to make, and you can get those same results at your table during your next game. Just layer on the information until there's informed choice, informed consequences, an aura of anticipation, and waiting for the die result. And you will hook your players like never before. And that's where we'll pick it up next time. This channel is run by me and my girlfriend.
Hello, I'm here now.
Ow. If you want to support us directly, consider joining our Patreon and picking up our 5e adventure, Crown of the Fungal Queen, where you can learn more about King Arthur III and his paramour, Sir Godfrey Gold. And if you're feeling especially generous, you might like the video, comment, share, or subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we release new videos. Until next time, keep studying the mystic arts.